Good morning to all students who are participating in this session. The matter which is one of the part of constitution, that is trade and commerce and intercourse. It is a commercial clause, a business clause, and a clause which is directly and indirectly related to the commerce and economics of the states, union territory, and the union government. Of course, as you know, that there are constitutional provisions for the trade and commerce, business, and intercourse in India within the territory of Union, as well as the intra-state business, commerce, and trade. These are the articles. It starts from 301 and goes up to 307. A special part, there is no chapter, part 13 of the Constitution is there. The single chapter is under this part 13. And in the beginning, there were these 7 articles. Now, after 1956, only 6 articles are there because 306 has been repealed by the parliament by amendment 7th amendment of 1956. There are 6 articles. Some are prescribes the general provision, and some gives us the power to impose some restriction on the business for certain purpose, and one of the paramount purpose is public interest, and to impose the tax by the state as well as by the union government. This is also the subject matter of this part 13 of the Constitution. Thus, before entering into the domain of part 13 of the Constitution, there are some points which requires to be discussed thoroughly with the support of Constituent Assembly debate and the law of other countries. At the same time, the provisions of GOI Act 1935 and the interpretation which has done by the judiciary. There are these areas and application of constitutional law on the trade, commerce, and the intercourse. And some writers have already correlated it with the articles provided under part 3rd of the Constitution, that is Article 19 1G. there are some provisions relating to the trade, business, so on of the citizens. Citizens' rights are. And at present in India, the multinational companies are working. Therefore, sometimes a question comes in the mind that this facility as a right is given to the citizen of India as provided under Article 90, 1G. Then why these multinational companies are working in India where the directors and even if the members and shareholders may not be the citizen of India. For this purpose, there is the provision that under the clause 6 of 19, Article 19, that law can be made by the parliament for the purpose to carrying on owned by the state or by corporation owned, controlled by the state or any trade business industry or subsidy, whether to the exclusion complete or partial of the citizen or otherwise, only either for the citizen or for other persons. There is a provision and under the clause 6 of 19 and subclause, if you will see in Roman words 2 within bracket 2, the power was given to the parliament to make the law for others also apart from citizen. This is a question of competitive examination, or normally it is being asked in your examination, competitive examination, wherever you will appear for that purpose, and therefore please some aspect should be in your mind that why the multinational companies are working here in India, whereas the 19 clause 9, the article 19 1G gives this right only to the citizens, because 19 is only for citizens. Some articles of the fundamental right are for citizens. This is requires to be clarified here, because although we are discussing the provisions which are laid down by the constitution makers under part 13 of the constitution from article 301 to 307, but the same right or the similar right has been given under the part 3rd of the constitution, that is the fundamental right, or especially under article 19(1)(g). It says that the practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade and business, it shall be the right of the citizen. But the other company, if are working here, who are not the citizen of India, for that purpose, law has made by the parliament, and for making the law, the power is given to the parliament under the provision of the constitution itself, that is the clause 6 of the same article, that is the article 19. Therefore, the working system which is going on in India, that is within the purview of the legislature competency, legislature authority that has permitted by the constitution. Therefore, one another question, because I am just narrating the things which are essential to be discussed by all the student, or that there should be some special kind of the provisions should be in mind of the student, because law is very wide and it is very difficult to search unless the hard work shall not be done by the student, including the teacher also. And there are various kinds of the problem to search all these things, but always it requires the continuous work on it. Another point before entering this part 13 also, as I have said, the authority of law and the provisions provided by the Constitution. Unless there will not be the provision in the Constitution, the Parliament is competent to make the law on the subject enumerated under the list 1 of 7th schedule, as you know, because we are discussing continuously. This is the your unit which requires to be highlighted the provisions of 7th schedule, and all the discussion is not complete unless we will not discuss the 7th schedule. So the competency for making the law is given under the 7th schedule. What we are the subject. But one point which I have raised here, that unless the constitution shall not permit to make the law, even if the parliament cannot make the law. Therefore, yesterday I have said that there are provisions for the imposing of tax, and a GST council has constituted by the constitution itself. The point was, unless the constitution shall not give any power, shall not provide any power to the parliament, parliament cannot do anything. Constitution is supreme. Power can be taken from the constitution. Therefore, the 101 had amendment to 101 had been passed by the parliament to incorporate some provisions in the constitution, and then the GST has been imposed. This is also your competitive question, please. And what are the articles and how it has amended? This is also the question. Whenever the amendment shall be made by the parliament, the name of that amendment, of course, will be the Constitution Amendment, serial number such and such. And after that, there will be the word, there shall be the word act, as it shall be used. Therefore, it is a act of the Parliament of 2016. The Constitution Amendment 101 Act is there. 101 Constitutional Amendment within bracket Amendment Act of 2016. Its name is the Act, and there are basically of 20 sections. Please don't confuse that. One side I am talking about the constitutional amendment, and another side I am using the word section. There is no need to confuse over it. Just I have cited that whenever any constitutional amendment shall be made by the parliament, the amendment shall be called the constitutional amendment, serial number such and such it may be, whatever is there, but there will be one word at last, act, ACT Act of the particular year. That's why in that act there shall be the sections. Under the sections, it shall be written that Article X has been amended, this word has been amended, Article X has incorporated as a new article. So therefore, I am using the section also because this is an act. This is called act, but it is a constitutional amendment. System numerical numbers will be there, and these numerical numbers will be called the section because it is an act. It is an act. Then it should be clear in your mind also, because these are the very small kinds of the things which requires to be known by the student, because if the student have the plan to appear in competitive examination, it is sure that minutely if they will go through all these things, then it is sure that they will qualify. They will qualify. I have the experience, because to write the section, to write the latest case, and to analyze the particular section should be the habit of the student, and making the heading and point, and all the questions should be attempted by the student in the examination. It should not be left the part A and B and all these things, and the serial number should not be disturbed by any student. If it is a question 1 A B C D, then all the parts of the A B C D should be done in a one place, not A in one page and then page number 10 there is B of one. Please don't do like this. Avoid all these things. Although this is not the illegal, but it gives the problem for the some certain purpose. I'm not going on that part, because when the lockdown will over, then we will meet in a classroom, then that can be discussed. It is not possible to discuss publicly. Now come to the GST. The rectification of the 50% of states, it was essential because of the region. And what was the region? That was the region of this 50% provided under the Article 368, Clause 2, and the under the provision. There was the region was, if some amendments requires, for example, this part 5th and 6th and 368 itself and 7th schedule. In such circumstances, if any amendment in 368, 7th schedule and some part of the constitution, including this part 11, if you will see, this amendment should be rectified by the 50% of the state. It is written itself under Article 368, Clause 2, proviso, provided that word is there. Therefore, this is also the question for the competition, because there is a problem. Now, what articles have been amended in this GST? The articles which has been amended, Article 246A, it is a new article, and 46, distribution or distributing power of the legislatures and in between the states, means the states and the union, so on. The new article has incorporated 246A. Because the time, I have very limited time, I am just citing all these things, and this may be under the unit 4 also. Then but it will not be possible to discuss all these things. Then Article 248, the students are coming continuously on this group of online lecture. One information yesterday I have given, that the your report is being submitted or forwarded to the university as well as to the government. Tomorrow there is one meeting with the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Higher Education Minister, and they are taking the attendance percentage of the student, and some are doing very negligently. They are not attending, though they have the internet. They are using it frequently, and sometimes they are appearing in the in this e-lecture system, but they are carelessly taking it. And that's why I have displayed this information in the group also. And near about 1 a.m. I will forward the attendance with the percentage of the student to the university. Then it will go to the government also. That, and how they will appear, I don't know in the examination. And earlier on 30th April, the one attendance has been already forwarded. Please be sure about it. It is not proper to say and write every day appear to attend the class. This is not a proper way of this higher education. Though all the students are sitting at home and they have the internet facility, they are sending me the mail and all these things. It means they are available. They have the availability of every kind of such type of e-facility. Then don't avoid the classic. Okay. Now the point which says that 246A GST, I am talking about the GST constitutional amendment before entering into the part 13 of this today's topic, because this has been left earlier. But these are the questions for your competition, please. That's why I am highlighting it. And I have the object that the most of the LLM students who are pursuing from the Rajendra Law Institute, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Law Institute, Kumar University in Nainital, they may qualify very soon within the 6 months the competitive examination or qualify the NET examination. That is my objective. That's why during my lectures I am citing the questions which are very useful and very relevant or very important questions for your competition also. Without attending any coaching here and there, you are getting good information from a good experience holder. That is in your interest, please. Then 248 it has amended, and you will go through the language of this 48, 246A, 249, 256, 8, and all the question when it has been amended, it can be asked the article such and such. Omission, there is some deletion also. Article 268, 268A deleted. Article 269 and 269A incorporated. 70 and 279A is very relevant articles where a question can be asked in interview or question can be asked in the objective for in any examination. What is Article 279A when it has incorporated, and what are the provisions under this article? This is the article, if I will say the soul, if you will allow to say that it is a very fundamental article, so that the GST system, one tax, one nation, has been got the success because of this 279A. And what is the 279A? 286 already amended, 236 6th schedule amended, 7th schedule amended, 368 itself amended, and because of this proviso, application of the proviso under clause 2 of 368, it has applied to this amendment for taking the one half resolution to be passed by the state after the passing of this bill by both the house of the parliament, and it has referred to the states also. Now the question is 279A. 279A provides to constitute the council. And who will constitute the council? Number one, the president. Number two, who will be the chairman of this council? The finance minister, union finance minister shall be the chairman of this council. And who will be the members of the council? The finance ministers of the state and other tax ministers and other any ministers. Minister means it is nominated by that state shall be the members. Then what will be the quorum? One half shall be the quorum. And how the resolution shall be passed, how many point that members are required to be present in the that meeting. The quorum is one half, but the resolution means the decision of the members of council shall be 3/4. 3/4 present and voting. Present and voting. 3/4 members for the passing of any recommendation. There is the requirement of this one. And protection, there are 10 clauses. Under 279A, there are 10 clauses. Please go through the clauses and keep all the provisions in your mind that there is a GST council. GST council which is in force at present, and the source is the constitution by amendment of 101. This is clear. Now there are some acts and acts made by the parliament to implement the GST, and there are the act, and very good material is available in the website. Go through it and think over it, and then apply your mind. What are the provisions here? The Central GST Tax Act 2017, because the amendment of 2016 and then in 17 some act has been passed. The Integrated Goods and Services Act 2017, number 2. Number 1 is this GST Tax Act. It is a tax act, the 2017. Another is Integrated GST Act only. Integrated GST Act of 2017. First is the GST Tax Act. Second is the Integrated GST. Integrated GST. And third is the separate act for the Union Territory GST Act. Union Territory, for the Union Territory, there is third act. First is the GST Act, GST Tax Act. Second is Integrated GST, and third is for the Union Territory there is another. Of 2017, go through 177 sections, 70 sections or more than that. And if you will see the First one, Tax Act, GST Tax Act. It is a very wide act, and whenever you are getting the time, and don't waste your time, because wherever you are, and there should be open your net, not to watch this WhatsApp and Facebook and all these things. Please avoid it, because the students are pursuing the LLM. It requires to do that. Then, of course, the as you have seen, the sales goods compensation of states, compensation it has been given, because the special provision shall be made. It has written in the 279 that to some hill states, as I have narrated some days back, and this is also the one of the question. Uttarakhand is one of them, and this northeast state, all the states, Arunachal, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, and that Sikkim also, and then Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and some part of the Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh, it has written, because the some tribal areas are also there. They have no resources. That's why the center shall the center shall provide some grant for the development of these states. They have no resources, limited resources of the commerce. So therefore, there is special provision and rules also made there, and rules center GST rules 2017. As I have said that unless you will not go through the rules, all the provisions of act are not complete. Please, rules have the same authenticity as the provisions is given under the particular act. That's why please go through the rules also, because if the word is written in somewhere, the that as provided, as determined by law, it means it requires to make the rule, and that rule is with the provision of, in consonance of, or in the completion of the particular section of the law that requires there. Therefore, the GST is one of the aspect, and it is expected from you people go through this GST constitutional amendment and the act made hereunder by the parliament for the implementation of the GST, and for the further smooth running of GST, there are the legislative measurements, and these measurements should be studied by the student, by at least the student of LLM. LLM student have no limit, please mind it. They are thinking that very easily we will get it, then after getting this degree, it will be useless degree. Mind it, useless degree. I am the LLM, then what's the use of that? But this is not a time to discuss all these things. But indication should be given to the student always to motivate to them for the hard work. This is one of the suggestion and recommendation and the rules of the UGC, and it is a duty of the teacher to motivate and to give some idea about the hard work, whoever pursuing the system of law. As a study or as a student, still I have said that everyone is student. Now come into the another part. That part we say that the part 13 of the Constitution, part 13 of the Constitution, which is a very essential part. As I have said that there are the 6 articles which are existing at present or beginning in the year 1950. At the time of enforcement of the Constitution, there were 7 articles, and somewhere 5306, perhaps it was related to the categories of the states, and there were the beginning, there were the categories of states A, B, C, D. And these categories had been now abolished by the 7th Amendment of the Constitution. It is a very wide and a very powerful amendment for the unification of India. Unification of India. So therefore, the 306 has gone away and it has repeated. Now, to divide this part 13 into the various segments, into the groups, and these groups we say about the indication has come of ending this session, and after 5 minutes it shall be ending. Then I will start the second one, at once after the over of this one, because the 40 minutes time is here and it is very limited time, and Zoom is not facilitating more than that. And apart from the Zoom, others are some other kind of sites are there. But okay, then the segments which are these segments. The one is the background of this clause, or this part 13 of the Constitution, of these articles. What is the background? And background includes the federal character, first of all, the federal character, and secondly, the national interest in the earning of commerce by or from the business. To earn the commerce by from the business or from the trade, it is a matter of national interest. Why it is a matter of national interest? Because for every purpose there is a need of economy, there is a need of finance, and where from the finance will come? Only by way of the powerful and very useful source of economy is the trade business, and trade business of the government, by the government, and secondly the by the other traders, including the private traders, because of the new economic policy of 1991 in India, as it has adopted that the privates, not only the public sector, private sectors shall have the power to run the trade, business, commerce in India. It has been given the scope for them. New Act has been passed, as I have cited that the Article 19(1)(g) and the subclause 6, and at the same time, second of the 6 also, the power was given. Therefore, the background says that the national interest to earn the money by imposing the tax and to fulfill the requirement and the demand of the people by using the famous concept of the demand and supply. That is the essential aspect of the background of trade and commerce in India. Secondly, what are the provisions in the United States of America relating to the business, and what are the provisions in the Australia, because Australia and this USA countries have the federal system of the constitution, they have the written constitution, and here in India also the power is mixed in between the parliament and the state legislature. The powers of the parliament supersedes over the state's power also. Therefore, whenever the state will make any law and there is a provision to take the permission, prior permission for imposing some tax which are intra-states from the president, that's why, and parliament have the complete power, though the domain has defined, areas had defined, and demarcation is there under Schedule 7 of the constitution by providing the various list. There is a Tana Bana, it has written in the constitutional system of this Tana Bana or a special kind of the provisions. But the USA system and the Australian system and the cases decided by the USA courts, whenever there is a dispute relating to the application of free flow of trade, the cases are there, and comparison of these cases we will see with the Indian system, and there is the aspect. Then next question after this second, first one is the, that is the background, as I have indicated that 2 points are relevant for that purpose, and the second is the provisions in other countries including the USA and Australia, and third one is the Constituent Assembly debate. What was the debate? Because debate is that relevant part of discussion whenever you will read the debate or study the debate, you will be deemed to be expert to understand the provisions of the constitution and the interpretation given by the courts in a particular word or particular article or whatever the section made by the parliament or state legislature under the umbrella of the constitution. You will be in position to understand it. That's why the Constituent Assembly debate is the assets or the interpretation of the constitutional provision. And secondly, what kind of debate was there? How much visionary persons were there? What words, what kinds of words or which words they had used at the time of the debating a particular issue, and where from they have brought it, and what was their style for making this constitution. It gives the idea. That's why the constituent assembly debate is one of the essential part of the constitutional law. Please mind it always. And the duty of ours to enter into that part, and this will be the after this foreign system, this will be the third one. And what will be the another fourth relating to this aspect of the whenever there was the dispute, the judicial interpretation. Some writers has written it the judicial interpretation. Some has written it that judicial approach, and some has written the case analysis decided by the judiciary. This should be always in the particular matter, because it is not necessary to discuss everything on this on lecture. There is a limitation, please. Or I'm a single teacher. I have taken this burden on my shoulder to complete your course and to give you new idea for the purpose of your interest. And this is my legal duty. You have studied up to this LLB. You have seen the situation. Anyway, now the position is after the interpretation of this aspect of the constitution, there is some another aspect of the correlationship of the cases in between the two provisions, or in between the single provision, means the same provision which was earlier in the court and which had after the decision of that court, after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years in another bench, then you will get the separate decision and separate approach of the court, and it is your duty to analyze it. What was the reason? Why this separate means the different kind of the opinion expert by the court later on. What was the reason? And sometimes you will get that the same judge was there in the earlier case, and the same honorable judge was in the another case, and the same issue was there, and the opinion is totally different from the earlier judgment. Then what's the reason? Because the Supreme Court with certain restriction is free to lay down or to declare the law. Under Article 141, the word is declared, and therefore the once a judgment has been given, the another bench can give the another judgment. The same bench, if there is a procedure laid down under this 145 as a rules, but how many the judges or the members shall have the power to overrule all these things. But there is a dissenting, there is a concurring, there is you can say the separate opinion. Scope is here. Therefore, it develops the law. And sometimes, and the last, you will say the conclusion on the matter. And conclusion should be your aspect always, and to go through this conclusion on this analysis in a summary manner. The meaning is thereby that you are writing just the assignment of the conclusion. The most of the students are committing mistakes. Don't commit the such type of mistakes, because of the aspect on the different